Think we should go show people our new tree? Yeah, we gotta show everybody the new tree. What do you think? Yeah? Okay, let's go show them the new tree. Thanks, Wally. Our new caviar lime, finger lime tree is here from Backyard Citrus. This is my second one that I have. I had to leave my old one back in Florida because you're not allowed to take them out of state. So here we are, a nice sunny, warmish day here in Colorado. We're gonna unbox this one and get him back in to an earth box so he can grow and be happy. Here's Wally next to it for scale. Just so you guys can see, it's packed really, really well. And, well, I'll get it in a second, but I also went ahead and got some of the Happy Frog soil that they had available. Here it is. It's not potting mix like we normally get, but when I looked at the ingredient list, it looked very similar to the potting mix we normally get. So I think it was more just phrasing potting soil potting mix. So, oh, it's okay. This isn't going to be enough for the whole container anyway, so it'll get mixed in. But yeah, let's open up the plant and see how it's doing. And boy, oh boy, is that a well-packed plant. We had the supports on the outside, the box that I had to use the box cutter to cut through. Look at it. I didn't even take it all out. Look how full it is. Look how lush it is. I have the new tree lined up over here, just getting some sun. Because today's Sunday. It got delivered late Friday night. Poor UPS guy must have delivered it almost at 9 o'clock at night. It was raining, almost snowing. So I let the tree just stay in its box Saturday, and then today's Sunday. Because I was like, you know what, it's going to be warmer out today. Let's let it just kind of adjust. And like I said, the links are down below as always. This is the second tree, the same tree, the second one that I got. And this is who I got it from, Backyard Citrus. Okay, doesn't want to label to the, there we go. BackyardCitrusTrees.com. They were really great. I actually ordered this a few weeks ago, but because of the weather, they were really great and held on to it to make sure it got to me safely. And clearly, it looks super healthy. And I just thought I'd share some of this information because I love when I order stuff, especially plants that I'm not, you're new, you're not sure how it works or whatever, and they include educational material right there for you. So, like, one of the pieces of information they shared was this, do I have to plant my new tree right away? And the answer is no. Kind of gives you some of that information. And then I think this is probably the same guide that they sent last time because it looks super familiar. But I like this because it's got that shiny finish to it, which, yeah, you can't recycle it, but it means it's going to hold up for a while, so I can keep an eye on this. But, instructions on if you're putting it in the ground, any container, watering schedule, fertilizing details, just kind of all of that good stuff. So I can save this with all my seeds and my papers for my plants and then go ahead and reference it whenever I need to, and I don't have to go pull it up on the website or anything like that. So what's going to happen with this tree? Well, it's going to go in one of our Earthbox root and veg. Last time, the first time I bought one of these trees, I had it in geez, I don't know, some sort of potato container. And I could have sworn I packed it when we moved, and maybe I did, and we haven't unpacked it yet. I'll put the video up above for you, but I can't find that container. So Earthbox root and veg, it is. In my experience, these trees are great, but it's a dwarf variety, the one that I got. So we know it's going to be kind of somewhat compact in size, but more importantly, I've noticed they grow really slowly. You can check out the progress videos from last time. And fun fact, my friend who got the original finger lime tree that I had from the Backyard Citrus before, they said it's starting to get its first set of fruit, which is super exciting. So if I can get some pictures or something, I'll share them with you guys. But that's, a couple years in, because they bought it during the pandemic. So, it's a couple years to fruit. So I think we're going to be just fine in this container. And then I'm going to probably either have it somewhere on the deck, even though if you're following us on Instagram, you know that that's Moose's favorite spot. But I also have over here the 3 variety apple and then the cherry blossom that we put some updates up on the other day. They're wrapped just with moving blankets for now, just to keep them a little extra cozy and warm if they needed it. But I don't think the citrus is going to be able to handle some of the lows that we're probably going to have a sporadic handful of. So I'm going to keep this either on the deck or right over here somewhere I can easily pull it in. And I know not all of you are familiar with the earth boxes, but they are a huge part of my garden as a renter because they are so easy to work with. But let me just show you the rundown. I have just recently uploaded a video on how I prep them for a plant. But here's the thing, it's a container. You're like, oh well, Alessandra, that's fine. But okay, this little hole here is important because what happens is this system, this is called the Earthbox root and veg container. So this plastic piece goes in here, okay? And you can see that there's two little corners that are kind of, well, they're not empty, but they've got a big piece of plastic, it looks like, missing. What's actually happening is you're going to put your potting mix, specifically potting mix because we want that wicking action to happen, you're going to put it in these corners. And this hole here gets this watering tube that sticks out just enough over the top here. So what happens is when you water this, the water goes down here, and then the soil that's down here is going to wick up and water your plants from the bottom up, helping them make better, healthier roots. And then, well, here's what I love because I'm terrible. You can't overwater it, because if you put too much water in, it's going to come out the other end here, and so you're never going to get to a point where you're overwatering. You might want them to dry out or something, but it is a great system. And especially like in Florida where the water was hit or miss with rainy season, or just as a renter, you can't put stuff in the ground, so the plants are relying on you. I was able to set up an automatic watering system for this on a timer, which was great. But out here in Colorado, where water and temperature are a lot more tricky, in my opinion so far, to deal with, this is going to be great because like you see over there, all the earth boxes, you get covers, white or black depending on your climate. I'm using black because we can still get snow apparently until June, so you can put, in Florida I put the white side up to keep the heat out, but here I want the heat kept in, so that's gonna make a cover like you see over here and prevent the water from evaporating. So out here, if I just water the lawn, yes, some of it's going to go down into the lawn, but a lot of it is going to just evaporate off of sheer wind or sun. So, quick earth box lesson done. Let's get this potted up. What do you think, Moose? That bird making weird noises? Alright, let's talk options for our earth boxes. Now, this is my go-to potting mix. This is the potting soil-ish mix that I got from Backyard Citrus. And this is a Miracle-Gro citrus mix. It says it's for containers as well. I know I typically try to avoid the Miracle-Gro collection, but given as this is very slow growing and isolated, and I know that the citrus requires just a real special blend, and they were out of the other options that didn't have Miracle-Gro, here we are. So we're going to start with the Miracle-Gro in the earth boxes. These are the root and veg ones. We're going to mix in a ton of perlite. I was able to get the one without the Miracle-Gro, so that's exciting. And then we have garden lime and just regular good old fertilizer we'll get him situated with. And then, yeah, get him started. We have the cover ready to go. So let's see how much of this we use without disturbing Moose too much. You okay, Moose? Hey, buddy. Were you in your spot? I'm sorry. Alright, let's get potting. Well, we have thoroughly annoyed Moose while he's over here. We've got one whole bag and almost, I don't know, a little bit more than a third left in that bag. A ton of perlite, 2 cups of dolomite, i.e. garden lime, mixed in the lower portion here. We've been saturating it with water as we layer it in. We've got the cover on, ready to go. Now at this point, I like to put the fertilizer over here, so it's on the other side from where the water is, so there's also nothing here for it to immediately burn. So we'll put 2 cups of the organic fertilizer here, and normally you should put 3 cups in when it's organic fertilizer, but because there is a little bit of Miracle-Gro in here, I don't want to overdo it. We can always add more fertilizer or worm castings and all the good stuff later. And just a visual, here's what 2 cups of organic fertilizer looks in here. Again, if you're using organic fertilizer, typically I say 3 cups, but because there's Miracle-Gro in here, we're not going to overdo it. All right, so this is where we're going to start with. I typically don't recommend pushing down on the plants when they're just getting potted in here because, I don't know, it just seems silly to compact them on purpose. But I will say, especially during the earth boxes, the corners always seem to compress down the most. So I always recommend go ahead, add just another handful on every corner before you put the cover on it. And then typically, depending on when you're planting it, I would say in about a week or so, once the water has thoroughly gone from top to bottom, it's got a nice kind of flow to it, it's kind of situated, I would pop the cover off and then take a look at it and be like, okay, do I need to add some, like, did it settle too much on this side? Do I need to put some more on here? Because you want it to be kind of, I think we keep looking over here, we want it to have a nice full area for the plant to kind of create its home. Now I will say, if you watched my original video where my first dwarf finger lime, here I'll show you the tag so we can all make sure we're talking about the same thing here. The finger lime, this is a giant dwarf. I think it says it's going to stay under 20 feet. I think it was in the 15 to 18 range if I recall correctly. That container that I got put in was much larger and deeper than this. However, from what I understand, when it got repotted, or got put in its new home before we left, it had not made a significant enough of a damage or dent in that container. And as we saw in the progress videos, it was a very slow growing tree, so I'm not super worried about it. This is the container. Let's lean it up against here. Oop. Windy day. This is the container as upright as I can get it. So clearly the container, is bigger, deeper, or at least about the same as what this container offers. Now I will say, when I pulled the tree out of here, the roots looked amazing. They went all the way to the bottom of the container. So it's a very healthy, very big root system that I'm thrilled with. Looks great. So can it stay in here for years and years? Maybe, but I expect in a year or two we'll probably have to get this guy a bigger container, and that's a problem I'm willing to deal with. But for now, let's get him topped up with just a little bit of dry soil and covered up, and I'll show you how he looks. You think Moose did do a good job over there? They put the plant in real good? Actually, here, this is really good. Well, let's see. Moose is here. He's a big boy. Here's Wally, and here's how tall our tree is. I can't record and pet and measure, so let me measure really quick. And I'll tell you how big the tree is, because I realized, we were saying it didn't grow real fast. It was really slow to grow, but I don't really know exactly what the measurements were for it. So this could be how we establish how quickly it's growing when we do our 1-year check-in next year. All right, so from here to the highest branch, I mean, obviously it's going to have to fill out and it'll pick back up when the sun's on it. We're at about 32 inches right now. So we'll see once it perks up, gets some sunlight. I'm leaving it on the deck right now because obviously there's a breeze. You can see it, you can probably hear it, but it has been pretty breezy out here, so I'm a little worried about just sticking it out in the yard. And again, if it drops below 40, I'm going to be bringing it in. So Moose is clearly able to work around it. Wally is clearly able to work around it. So yeah, it's going to live here for a little while. We'll give you guys some updates on it soon. But if you have any questions, by all means, drop them in the comments down below. This is a beautiful citrus container tree from Backyard Citrus again. This is the second one I've purchased. It is a finger lime giant dwarf. I'll put all the details down below for you guys. But I cannot wait. Oop, you can't even see that. Yeah. Alright. Well, we obviously have to go say hi to everybody now, so I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, friends. Okay, bye.